good afternoon. My name is Jing Qin, and I am from Singapore Expo. So welcome to Asian River Feast today, and our live cooking demo today.
Hi, my name is Ong Jing Qin, and I'll be assisting here today with the cooking demo.
Without further ado, we'll actually walk you inside the kitchen where we'll be starting the demo today. Let's go. So moving into here, this is actually the hot kitchen of Singapore Expo. I am also the sous chef of Singapore Expo. So we will be starting here with our demo.
What are you preparing today?
Hi, Carol. Today we will be preparing coffee local grown barramundi with Asian spring onion pesto, crispy crab lover shell crab, and with chili crab sauce, and it's accompanied with chawanmushi, salad, and locally grown wok. Sorry, let me start the video first. Okay, great. I think everyone can see us right now.
Yes, fantastic. Good to go.
Okay, awesome. So, let's see. We'll be having a roving camera so that everyone can actually see our demo properly and better. So, please tune into the next camera that is showing whenever we are actually cooking. So today, before we start off, I would like to introduce our local produce that we have on the shelf right here. So you know that now we are dealing with all the pandemic issues and there is a local supply cut off. And actually, a lot of times our local producers are actually supporting us a lot on our daily food intake. So now we have Kubara barramundi that is right here. This is our locally grown barramundi. Get their feed from Australia, and then they actually grow it here, right here in Singapore. And they can produce up to a ton every year. Here, we also actually make sauces. So you guys love your chili crab, your etc., right? So Thai thing here actually makes very, very good chili crab sauce, which we will be using in our demo today. Moving to here, we have our Prawn Delight from Anglais. It's also a locally grown crab. So we'll have all these beautiful micro crabs that we will be using later on. So when we move on to here, a lot of people wouldn't know where our social crab comes from. So actually here, we use our locally grown social crab, which is from Crab Lovers Farm. So their Crab Lovers Farm, right, they actually grown very, very nice social crab that do not have any water loss after you defrost it. So a lot of times when you use other countries kind of social crab, when they come in, it's at least a 50% water loss. So that's why we prefer to use our local produce because the quality is better and also there is not much water loss that will give you a better yield. So without further ado, let's start off the demo today. So firstly, we'll be actually starting off with cooking the local Kubara barramundi. So why is it Asian with a twist? I decided to incorporate some of the Western evidence, but along with our locally grown ingredients and also influence from our Asian culture and also that we have here. So coffee oil, as we know, we can actually put in thyme, etc. all these herbs, but I decided to incorporate kaffir lime leaf, lemongrass, ginger, and garlic to get an Asian kind of coffee oil. So we have here corn oil. We will lightly heat up the oil. Add in the kaffir lime leaf, lemongrass, ginger, and garlic that we have already pre-chopped and pre-pounded. I will actually leave it to infuse the oil for 1 day overnight. What's the normal oil?
Normal
So
oil.
you can see that it has a bounty pool of Asian herbs that we usually use in our everyday cooking. So I prepared the oil that I have already infused overnight, and that is when we'll be putting the barramundi inside. So over here, we actually have a very beautiful of barramundi. So you can see that the meat is firm and fleshy, and at the same time, the texture when it's cooked up is going to be very, very nice and soft. With the overnight oil that we infused. So we will actually leave the barramundi to be completely in the oil while we start on the next stage. So the next thing that I want to introduce to you is actually the Asian spring onion pesto. So a lot of times that when we are learning Western techniques, because I am also a French-based trained chef, but yet I'm also an Asian. So of course I eat a lot of Asian food at home. So at the same time, I would like to incorporate whatever I learn and whatever ingredients that I use every day at home. So Asian pesto, what is inside is actually ginger, spring onion, pine nut, ginger powder, sesame oil, corn, sauce, and salt. So essentially, I will place like the usual basil with spring onion that I already pre-blanched, and that I'll put in pine nut to make it like a Asian pesto.
The one I'm using for crab.
So you can see, this is the spring onion that we have already pre-blanched. The ginger that we have chopped. Sesame oil and everything that has been mixed inside for the powder.
Jin, do you mind like using the other camera? It's really hard to see your hands. So I think one camera is a bit frozen. So just so that we can see from the
Are you able to see the roving one?
yeah, the third camera.
The one that is currently showing the condiment box?
Yeah, that one is a bit frozen. So have a look if you can improve that. Thank you. Maybe switch on and off.
Okay. So, give me a minute, please. I'll get another camera going.
All right, works now. Perfect.
This one will be better.
Yes, it's Anne. It's perfect. Now, thank you.
Okay, excellent. Then we'll go with that then. Okay, so I have myself here a Vitamix that will help to come in blend the pesto. So spring onion, the ginger, the pine nut, and the marination blend. So inside the marination blend also comprises of soy sauce. So it's something that we eat on a daily basis. So we'll blend this up. So while it's blending, we'll move on to something else. So you can see that the coffee oil is heating up. So usually I will let it heat until 65 degrees, and then I will let the fish confit so that it will reach an internal temperature of about 63 degrees. That's what we want to achieve. Then after we put it onto the fire, then we'll let react while we are ready to serve later on. Using a spatula to bite, lower the fish into the coffee oil, and then we'll let on the other side, I will actually showcase warm box. So I see the warm box. So currently we have ourselves here. A lot of people will know it as long white cabbage, or in more English terms, it's actually called warm box. So I have actually cut it into wedges like this. So this is something that we see on a daily basis also, that we can actually incorporate some Western techniques to cook it. So I have a non-stick pan here. I will heat up the pan. And then later on, I will bring the vegetables to sear it. So these are actually locally grown warm box that we can get in any supermarket. So nowadays, okay, sure. Yes, I will speak for it. Clearly.
Yes, all good. Looks really delicious.
Yes, thank you so much.
Also, we will open the chat box for everybody of the attendees. Feel free to send in questions, raise your hands, and dial in and learn from the chefs.
Okay. In the meanwhile, if you have any questions about the local produce that we are showcasing today, or any technique that I'm currently using, please do send it over the chat box. My assistant will actually tell me the questions and we will answer from there. So as you can see that the pan is smoking already. It's all ready for me to put the vegetables inside to sear. So when I'm doing this technique, right, it actually brings out the sweetness of the warm box itself. As you can see, you'll start to caramelize at the vegetable. And then after that, I'll add in a sauce, a fish, and then let it slightly break until it's cooked. And then I will keep serving that. Without further ado, I will move on to the next part of the dish, which is the crispy soft shell crab that we'll be showcasing today.
So I'll be showing everyone how to make the crispy soft shell crab. To start off, we have the ingredients here for the sauce. So we have spring onion, coriander, and for saute oil, we have a mix of corn oil and sesame oil, garlic. We have the chili crab paste that just now Ting Ting talked about, tomato sauce, and chili sauce. So while waiting for the oil to heat up, we will actually make the sauce first. So we will heat up the pan.
Over to here, you can see that it has already beautifully browned. And then this is where we will be adding in the stock for the water.
Alright, so now that our pan has heated up, we will add in our oil. And similar to many other cuisines, we will first start off by sauteing our aromat, which is garlic, to bring out the flavor of it, which gives the oil a very fragrant, beautiful taste to it. So it will just be a quick saute because we don't want to give it too much color, or we don't want to accidentally burn it with the high heat.
How long have you been a chef?
So
actually, right, Wenjie is currently doing his internship right now with us.
Apprentice, okay.
Yes, apprenticeship. So he's actually from the Culinary Institute of America. That was the school that I was from. So he's actually my junior. So while he's doing his internship here, I actually decided to ask him to join me on this demo, and then to let him make more exposed towards speaking and also the demos like this, which is also an essential skill as a chef.
Yes, definitely. I mean, being a chef is not all about just cooking. We definitely have to be able to speak as well, which definitely I'm still learning from Ting herself.
Jin, do you mind adjusting your microphone slightly closer to your mouth because it's not so clear? The rest works well. Thank you.
Okay.
All right, so we have heated it up, and then after sauteing our garlic for, I would say, maybe 30 seconds, we added in the spring onion and coriander just to lightly saute it, just to bring out that flavor, because both is actually quite fragile herbs, so we don't want to cook it too much. And immediately we'll go in with our sauces, the chili crab paste. We have the chili sauce and ketchup as well. So we'll add it all in. We'll give it a nice mix. And then we will add in water as well. If not, it will be way too strong. So we have slightly dilute it down a bit, just to bring it to a boil. And then we will leave it to simmer for all the flavors to infuse together.
That looks tasty.
Thank you.
Yeah, it smells really, really good. I'm also sure that many of you guys have actually heard of bread before. It's one of our iconic dishes in Singapore.
I think your audio is still a bit weak, so if you need to maybe put the mic closer to your mouth.
About like this, please.
Yeah, your microphone just maybe a bit closer to your mouth.
Okay, sure. Testing, are you able to hear me right now?
Not better. His mic is
Yeah, 1:1. How much was it?
110 2.5, 2.5.
So how many dishes do you do on a busy day in that kitchen? How many do you produce? How many can you make?
Okay, so
Muted. You are muted.
sorry.
Now it's good. Very good.
Okay, great. Then you can hear us.
Yeah.
Okay, so at Singapore Expo, we are doing all this SingEx bentos. We actually can produce up to 1,000 meals a day, depending on customers' requirements. So it's a very flexible kind of working environment right here. So moving forward, we'll also be deep frying the crispy social crab right now.
All right, so here I will show you how to do the batter. So of course, everyone has heard of tempura before. It's a very famous Japanese dish. So here we will try to replicate it. So in this bowl, we have plain flour, which we will add it to the bowl. And to that, we will actually add ice water. So rather than just room temperature water or hot water, we actually add ice water. And the reason is so that we create this light and very light texture from something that is a tempura is very light. If it's just a very heavy batter, when you eat it, you'll get very sick of it very soon, and sometimes it tends to be very greasy, which is the worst enemy of having fried food. So as we slowly incorporate in the liquid, you add it bit by bit because you don't want to add in too much and then it gets too light. It needs to form a batter that has some viscosity to it, so that it will actually stick to the crab.
Where's the crab from? Is it locally sourced?
Yes, so the crab is locally sourced, as Ting Ting has talked about it briefly just now. It's from our local
it's
farm.
actually from crab lovers farm. So they actually breed their own Sous Chef crab in Singapore right here. And juicy. And it's also one of our preferred produce to be working with in Singapore Expo.
Okay, so this is what the crab will look like, and then we were just gonna deep fry it. So we'll put in the batter, just lightly coat it. Just want to make sure we get every nook and cranny of it, so that comes out amazing. We go hold it, and we just let it drip for a bit, so that we don't have too much excess batter. And then in we go into the oil, and then just lightly drop it away from yourself.
You can see that actually the batter has already cut up very nicely. So that is the effect of using ice water.
Your audio is still really weak, Jin Qin. I don't know, maybe, yeah, it's still not great, the audio. His audio is really clear. But who cares? The food looks amazing.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so I saw the comments. Just like if you guys would like to brands, right? So this is actually from crab lover. Yes, this is the brand itself. Is it okay?
So what else do you do in terms of sustainable practices? What are your, ideas about this from farm to fork and sourcing locally?
So other than sourcing locally from farm to table as much as we can, because there's still so many produce that is unavailable as much as we wanted it to be, to reduce the carbon footprint that we create. We also do sustainability in terms of energy saving, in terms of using the current equipment that we have. For example, as you can see, right, we are actually powered by high technology. So it will actually give us an energy saving of up to 50%. So that is where we are also helping to do the kind of sustainability program that we want to do in a holistic way, rather than just in like the one kind of perspective, in just targeting food and not looking at other perspectives that we have.
Thank you.
And then you can see that now the crab that is fried into a very nice golden brown, and the batter is also very nice cooking the crab. So that is how you guys can do a nice tempura kind of batter by just using ice water. And then we'll be doing the chawanmushi next. So we decided to incorporate chawanmushi instead of putting the egg straight into the chili crab sauce like we always do. So we decided to do a slightly different variation to make it creamier when you eat it together. So for example, when you have a little bit of the chili crab later and the sauce and also the chawanmushi, it will all blend better together. So let's move on.
Right, so here we have for this chawanmushi, it will be a very simple one where the flavors are kept light but very flavorful, so that it doesn't overpower the chili crab itself. So in this pot we have a dashi. A dashi is basically made using katsuobushi and kombu. We steep it, and then I've actually seasoned it with a bit of soy sauce and salt. And to that we will add in our eggs. We'll add in all our eggs, and we'll give it a very good mix so that everything is incorporated well. So I believe everyone has ate chawanmushi before, so it is something that is very light. It's not too heavy, it's not too strong, and it's very soft, but it still holds its shape very well. And the important thing is the color to it as well, and that you don't see, like maybe strands of white, strands of yellow. It's all a very uniform color, which is very important in this process where we mix everything well together. Okay, now that we've mixed everything well, another very important step in making chawanmushi is to strain it. So that in this step, it actually takes away most of the air bubbles that you see, as well as it gives the egg a very fine texture, very smooth. So any lumps or any cells or any unwanted objects that is inside the mixture, it will actually remove all of them out. So here we have our chawanmushi mixture. So we will actually cook it in a pan today. So in this half insert, I've lined it with baking paper so that it's much easier to remove. And to that, we will pour our mixture. Okay, just like so. And however, as we see now, there is actually still quite a lot of air bubbles. And actually this will make the chawanmushi have it will give the chawanmushi this appearance on the top where there are holes, because that is when the air bubbles are cooked and then it just explodes, which makes mini little holes in the chawanmushi, which you don't want that. So one way you can get rid of it is actually by using a blowtorch. Turn it to a very small heat so that you don't accidentally start cooking the chawanmushi. And then you just lightly the top, you just very lightly go through all of it. And using a very small amount of heat, you actually blow off, or rather burn off, all these possible air bubbles. And as you can see now, compared to just now, the chawanmushi is very smooth. It looks clear. And then with this, we will cling wrap it and we will go in the oven in steam. And it will, with this size, approximately it should go for, I would say, 11 to 12 minutes. Yep. But one way you can check is maybe to wobble it. If it still looks very wobbly, you could go slightly a bit more. And another way is actually to just poke it very lightly with a needle. And then if the water comes out clear, your chawanmushi is done. Right, and next we'll move on to the mango papaya salad. So here we have
Papaya mango salad. Of the deep fried soft shell crab that we have.
Yes, definitely, and
it's kind of like the Asian kind of acha.
Yep, you can say
but
so.
in a kind of more Thai style version.
And bringing fruits as well as very citrus flavors really helps to cut the heaviness as well. So this is our makeshift mortar and pestle. So here we will actually for the ingredients, it's actually a very simple one. We have lime, fish sauce, gula melaka, which is palm sugar. We have the papaya, the mango, as well as red chili, just to give it a bit of heat. So to start, you will add in the lime. So you just lightly squeeze it for the juices first. Put the whole lime in, it's alright. We'll add in the fish sauce, the gula melaka, and then we will give it just a nice pound. And I believe this is a very traditional technique that the Thais use to kind of incorporate everything together and to make sure you get all the flavors out. So you actually just lightly pound it, move it around until you create this very nice paste sauce. for your fruits, for your chili to go all together.
So in Thai, they actually call it pom pam. You can see that it's slightly going to become a paste right now. The gula melaka is being dissolved. And that's where you can throw in any of your desired fruits that you want. So it has a slight saltiness to it, a slight sour, and then there is also a sweetness to it from the gula melaka.
So here we will add in the chili. We have the papaya, as well as the mango. And then we'll just give it a thorough mix, but not too strong, not too heavy. Just lightly make sure you coat everything with this wonderful sauce that you made. Thank you. So adding the chili in actually gives it that just that hint of spice to it, because I believe in Asia, everywhere you go, you can always find. I mean, even in Singapore, when we eat our chicken rice, our noodles, anywhere, it always comes with a sort of chili. So this really gives it a very nice twist, a nice heat to it as well. So as you can see, everything has been mixed thoroughly, and this is ready to go now.
So I understand there are no exhibitions currently at SingEx. How can I come and eat at your guys' place?
It will only be listed to public and open to public when the CTF activity actually stands down. So hopefully it's fast. Hopefully it will be soon, because we are also looking forward to welcome guests from all over the world.
I think the audio is still not great. We have to work.
Okay, sorry. Yeah, repeat that again. So we will be open to public once the CTF facility is season and everything is back to kind of normalish. But then before that happens, we will still be remain closed to the public so far. So we can see this was the fish that we were consuming just now. So as you can see, the luster of the meat and the firmness to it is almost done already. So we are able to take it up. I have already checked the temperature. It has already reached 33 degrees, and that is the temperature that we want. So that the fish is not too dry, and yet at the same time it is moist. You can see. When we confit in oil, the flavors are able to lock into the fish that has already been infused overnight with kaffir lime, the lemongrass, and all the Asian herbs that I've actually put inside. Exactly. This technique is called confit. So it's CONFIT. So it's basically to submerge the protein that you want to confit in oil. So this oil imparts any kind of flavors inside. So you can put in your spice, your herb, or any kind of aroma that you want to put inside. So the fish will actually come out tasting with that fragrance that you have actually input inside of it. And then you can see this was the pesto that we were blending just now. So you can see it's a bright, vibrant green to it. When you actually blend it, you must keep everything very, very cold. And then that is where you'll be able to keep the vibrant green that is appealing to a pesto. So even with spring onion, you are able to achieve this kind of green, and it doesn't always need to be basil. So like, you know, original classic kind of pesto is always with basil. where we can actually answer them on the go.
So this is the chow mein we did just now. So as you can see, it comes out very beautiful, very smooth. The essential is to make sure that we strain it. That is one, and then two is to use a blowtorch at low heat to burn off any possible air bubbles, and then to cook it just nice, but however not overcooked. And then with that, it's possible to use a ring mold or whatever shape that you like or you prefer. You can cut it out, and then just always very gently and lightly to bring off from your cooking pan, lay it and until whenever you're ready to use.
That looks great. We have some questions here from Pavan Kumar Mikineni. And he says, hi chefs, can I know the specifications of both of the chefs, so your specialization, and what motivates you to work in the kitchen? And then lastly, his question is, in the current pandemic, as chefs, what precautions are you implementing in the kitchen operations to avoid COVID-19?
Okay, I think I'll answer the first question.
Yeah, but your audio is really bad. You may want to reset. I think it has to do with the earpiece, so maybe try that one. Maybe it's switched on or off.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Because the audio is not so strong. Now the video's gone. No, video's back.
Oh my God. Can you hear? Hi, hello. Can you hear
Hello?
me better now?
Yes, yes. Okay, so what is your specialization for both chefs? And what motivates you to work in the
Hi,
kitchen?
Carl. Can you hear me?
Hi. Yes, I can.
Yeah, I think they can hear us.
I can hear you.
Sorry, give me a moment. Sorry, give me a moment.
Oh, super. We can hear you for the first time.
Okay, I can hear you right now. Sorry, just now there was some technical difficulties with it.
That's all right. So what is your specialization and his as well? What motivates you to work in the kitchen?
My specialty is actually French cooking. So any of the chefs that have been through school training, we all start off with French base. And that's where we branch off to do.
Okay, somebody touched something. The audio and video is both off. All right, guys, sorry about the technical difficulties, but we'll be back shortly. You can actually watch the other video. It should work as well, the other camera. Maybe his audio works, so maybe we start with him. No, totally off, totally off. Maybe go back to the first one. Yep, sorry guys, we're still working on the audio. Please stay tuned, and we're trying to answer your questions as well. Here we go. Yes, somebody can. Yeah, we can hear you now.
Okay, thank you so much. Okay, so I have already explained my specialization. So, Vincent?
So very similar to Jing Qin, because we came from the same school. We were taught the fundamentals of French cuisine. So
please switch the camera view to horizontal.
Camera view.
Vertical, sorry.
Vertical, okay.
Yes, then it's good. The audio is fine now. Just
Okay,
yeah.
Okay.
Alright, so as I was saying, we were trained in basic French cuisine, but at the same time, across our time in CIA. So besides French, we were taught American, we were taught Asia as well as Mediterranean also.
Basically all over the world.
Yeah, so we were actually exposed to many different kinds of cuisine, and I wouldn't say we have learned all of it, but just the tip of the iceberg, we managed to just scratch it a little. Yeah.
And I myself also do pastry, which
honestly, I'm not very good with pastry, but I'm more towards the hot side. But of course, I'm still learning as I go with pastry because as a chef, you have to know both sides.
someone was asking about how are we coping with COVID-19, right, and the measures that we are taking in Singapore Expo. So for me, is that the safety of my staff is very important. Actually, we do wear masks. It's just that for this demo, I switched to this transparent one so that you guys can hear me better, because with that buffered mask, I'm not able to speak properly. So sorry about that. Just to give you guys a bit of background, so we also take temperatures daily, and then we also wash our hands and keep our hygiene properly. And that is some of the basic measures that we are doing, and also have a food and hygiene officer to make sure that everybody's safety is at the best, and also hygiene is also at the tip top.
Okay, great.
Any more questions?
Cooking. Back to the cooking. I think this camera is low bandwidth, so maybe we just want to make sure that the video works well. The audio works well now as well. Thank you.
Okay, moving inside. So we have our dish for today. It's actually the kubara that we have confit just now, along with that beautiful one bok that we have hand seared. You can see that it's dripping with the juice, and then it is very, very sweet after you use this method to do it.
Okay, the audio is great. Video's not working. Maybe use, now here we go. Perfect. It's just
okay.
Slow.
Okay, so this is kind of like a rendition of the Asian meals that we usually have at home. Like for example, braised cabbage, steamed fish, but in addition, I use some of the Western techniques to improvise it, and that is where we have this dish today. So the Asian pesto that we have, we'll actually spread it on top of the fish.
The camera tree is frozen.
Yes, it's camera tree. Yeah. I actually prepared some hard quinoa, the tempura bits from the batter, and also some chives that we top on top of the fish. So to give it a bit of a crispy texture to it.
I think ask them whether they can see you.
Huh?
Ask them whether they can see you or not.
Are you able to see this camera?
Yeah, it's a bit frozen though.
Okay, great.
So yeah, maybe it's not super fast. So the one that is stable behind you, the other one, that certainly works really well. Stable. So if you want to make sure that the video works perfectly, you can use that one.
And I'll bring the other camera over.
Perfect.
So also we have the char machine. That I'll put over this side. You can see the crab that we have here. It's just a little bit to enhance the dish itself. And then this was the chili crab sauce that Renjie did earlier, which we will actually dollop here. And then we'll go with the chicken. So moving on, we are also going to decorate the dish with the bountiful of cress, a homegrown cress that we have here. Omakase box like this with a variant of like the surprise me kind of box like this. So I'm going to just cut a few.
Where do you get it from? Is this your homegrown stuff that you bring from home?
This?
Yes, that
So
one.
they have actually grown it locally. It's from English and it's called Farm Delight.
Looks good.
Yeah, their crusts are very, very colorful and always very healthy because there is not much of a transportation time because it's grown locally in Singapore. So when you keep it, you also keep it for a longer time. So this is the.
This looks good. So you have to
dish
who's tasting?
that we have made today. So I hope that you guys have so far. We'll be tasting it. And hopefully there are more here. Yeah, so when we're gonna eat it, we'll start from the lighter flavors here, and then it will come all the way down to the crispy Sous Chef crab.
Wonderful.
Is there any
Thank
questions
you.
on the floor that is for us?
Thank you so much. Let me see. I think it has mostly to do with the protocols in terms of protecting yourself and others for COVID. And I think you answered that already. And it's about the new normal, what happens in the kitchen. So if there has been other changes to that. And I think we should relaunch, share the poll results. Chloe?
Okay. I see that quite a few of you actually, about 70% consider environmental footprint when purchasing food, which is, I feel, is a very important part of being a chef, because being a chef is not just cooking. I feel that to take care of the environment is also a very important factor in a holistic kind of learning as a chef. How about you?
I think definitely it is as well. Actually, when we were in school, we actually went to America for a month on a learning journey, and we were actually talked about all this sustainable, to cook sustainably. We will talk about carbon footprints and all, and I think it's actually we worry about it in our industry as well.
Okay, we have a couple of aspiring chefs here as well,
Yes.
which is nice. And people would like to see more demonstrations. So perhaps we can do that in the future as well. So thank you guys very much for this wonderful presentation. The audio at the end was unfortunately not fantastic, but it was really nice to see what you guys can magically make appear on the plate. Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Carl, for facilitating.
Yes, and we hope to see you guys soon. Go Junior Chefs Club in Singapore. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bye.